the land of Rabindranath Tagore, the land of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, the land of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. It's a great place. And within my heart, I carry great respect for Bengalis because my Param Gurudev Srila Prabhupada was a devout Bengali who gave Krishna Bhakti to the whole planet. So I thank you all for taking out your time on Sunday for this simple gathering. I'll offer some prayers now for before we start, and then I will give a small talk. And then feel free to ask some questions and we can have some interaction. Okay. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Shakhanvitam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Very special thanks to our dear friends who are sitting in the front row for coming also. I met them the other day and immediately we took to a sort of a natural friendship with both our doctors sitting here. Let us spend some time together, dear friends, and analyzing some dimension of our life which we may not have deeply considered. Why we are not deeply considered? Because we are very busy doctors. And the busyness of our profession is so involving, so engaging, so entangling sometimes that we scarcely get even time to reflect back and see where is my life going? What am I really doing with my life? Not with my patients. You know what you're doing with your patients, but what am I doing with my own personal life? What we call, in English term, we call it as the me time. And these days, the me time has become very, very important, right? Because for heavy professionals like yourself, like myself, where our day starts, what time? 8 o'clock? 8:30 in the morning, and there is no end time. Isn't it? 8 hours duty doesn't apply for doctors, right? 8 to 4, and then any patient comes, sorry. It doesn't work like that. Our profession is meant for giving, and whenever patient comes and surgery comes, LSCS comes, trauma comes, acute appendicitis comes, or obstructive liver comes, anything comes, or obstructive hernia comes, you have to be there, right? So this is our life. So I believe all of us are moving very rapidly on the ladder of success. Why are we becoming successful? Because there's a lot of sickness in this world. So there is an ever increasing need for doctors, even though there are so many doctors. And yet, is there going to be end of sickness? Are we more healthier after COVID? I don't think so. We are supposed to have become a little more health conscious, right? We thought people give up bad habits, have more clean lifestyle, more regulated lifestyle. But people are back to, they say the dog's tail is always crooked, right? So the ever increasing number of patients will always keep all of us busy. So yes, we are all probably already tasting the sweet fruit of success in our life. The vital question, though, which is worth ruminating and introspecting, is success equal to happiness? That is a very important question we need to ask ourselves. The world, the outside world, the regular world, the media world promotes happiness as success. If you're successful, you must be happy. It is presumptive. It is presumed. But ask your own selves and see around all the doctors you know. Are all successful doctors happy? Success is a short term gain. If you saved somebody's perforated appendix, which was already going to peritonitis, by good lavage and good surgery and maybe partial hemicolectomy or whatever, right? And you got him out of his septicemia, you feel good, right? Feel good. But that happiness lies for how long? Short term. So the success and the money we gain out of that success, our profession is definitely as considered by most people as lucrative, right? But the money we gain and the success of the patient's treatment are short-term happinesses. So therefore, in this world, people are beginning to understand that all successful people are oftentimes not happy. As a young budding doctor, I remember I must have been about in the UG days. I began MBBS in 82, 81, and I finished my UG in 86, MBBS. As a young budding doctor, I came across the story of a very, I'm sharing this on a personal level because and this has been, as our dear friend said, I want to share my journey with you also to some extent. I read about a very, very great singer. His name was George Harrison. How many of you heard the word George Harrison before? Some of you? Yeah, the Beatles. The Beatles, right? The Fab Four. So, John Lennon, Okoyona, George Harrison, right? Paul McCartney. And I read about their life in a very special, wonderful book. George Harrison began his musical journey at the age of 13 years. By the time he was 16 years, 17 years, he was a world famous personality, right? And there was a mania, like we have in our tech, we have mania, right? Many disorders. So there was a mania called as Beatlemania, where literally lakhs of people were crazy after their form of music. To give you an idea about the type of success this young musician got, I think it was his 20th birthday probably. And at the time, we are talking about time when there was no emails, there was no WhatsApp, Instagrams, nothing was there. There was no social media active that time. There were letters and cards to be sent. So how many cards do you think he got on his birthday? Any guess? 3 lakhs? Few lakhs? Huh? Millions. In America, they have got these huge buses. They're bigger than our Indian buses. 7 huge American buses filled with cards were on the birthday of this special person called as. He's very gifted, of course. He's very gifted. Now, we people here in India, we are not so much into Western music, but for them it was like, oh, right. That's one side of the story. But if you were to ask George, are you happy? What would you expect? Somebody earning billions. His every record, Apple record was Apple Studio, he had Apple. So always bestseller on very day one, he would be selling like thousands of records on very first day. But heart was empty. And he didn't have any direction to life. And that led to a spiritual search. Somewhere, my dear friends, all of us at some point have pondered, like I did it also as a child when I was adolescent, what is the goal of my life? How many of you somewhere have thought about this in your life? It is absolutely natural. And I'll tell you why it is natural. Because there is a living force in us called as the Paramatma. The Paramatma is our eternal guide along with our soul who comes with us in every life form. And the inner prerana and the inner chetana to inquire into the higher values of life is intuitively sprouted from within the heart by the Lord in the heart, whom we call as Antaryami. And that question sprouts not in a very organized, well thought way, it just comes out and says, what is the goal of my life? Now, unfortunately, most of us do not get immediate answers. We have to search answers. There are not many people whom can ask. If you want to buy a house, you can ask somebody, where do I buy a house? You want to buy a nice car? Nice car. You want to buy nice shoes, Nike shoes, someone will tell you. But what is the goal of my life? Whom will you ask? Hey, come on, just all these questions. You're very young, Baba. When you're old, no? You can talk about this question when you're an old person. Okay, now you're very young. Now you earn money. So generally, all these questions are set aside for the future, right? And the future becomes so entangling, and we never get our answers. So George persisted in his inner drive. He came to India, met many saints and rishis. At last, he met His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, who told him, he said, I want to join full time. I want to become like a Brahma. I want to become like Acharya Prabhu, become like him. It was his desire, become full time devotee. I said, you use your talent, which God has given you as a singer, in the service of God. What God has given you is not to be wasted or squandered or thought of it as useless. You use that in the Lord's service. That made a big difference in my mind. He was a popular man, very high flown, but unhappy. But he gained his happiness after meeting a spiritual person. What really drives us to become then truly happy? If success is not the formula for happiness, then what is the formula for happiness? Or is there a formula for happiness at all? The answer is yes. Today we are going to delve a little bit deeper into this discussion. Three parts: the body, the mind, the spirit. All three in Sanskrit are called as Atma. The Sharir also is called as Atma. The Man often is called as Atma. The soul also is called as Atma. So Atma means the complete wholesome existence of a person. What does the body need? Body needs comfort. What does the mind need? The mind needs peace. What does the spirit need? Spirit needs bliss. Right? So when the body is given comfort, the mind is given an environment of peace, and your soul experiences bliss, your life is, and your experiences, what do you experience in totality? Complete, wholesome happiness. Not just happiness of eating a nice rasgulla or a sandesh, right? Which lasts for, this gives happiness. And I like sandesh. All of you like Kolkata Vasis, you must be liking sandesh. But till the nerve endings on the posterior part of the tongue get stimulated and keep firing into the lingual nerve, which is the part of the, it goes into the brain, right? The parietal lobe, right? Till the time the pleasure is there. But once the nerve stops firing, pleasure is gone. So that's how kshanik is all experiences of sensory pleasure. Is all kshanabhangur. The Gita Krishna says this. Adhyanta Kaunteya. Yahi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayona evate. Adhyantmanta Kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. Right? Those who are Buddha means those who are really intelligent, will not give and sacrifice their life exclusively to gain those pleasures which have a beginning and a end. Adi Antamanta Kaunte, my dear Kaunti Putra, you are not intelligent if you just go into all those pleasures which have a beginning, because if something has a beginning, it will also have end. And all sensory pleasures will by definition have a beginning and an end. Well, through all the Lakshmi and money which we earn, we have probably made ourselves comfortable in our own homes. We have got, I'm sure, decent cars which you can afford, right? Maybe not even afford. Sometimes we buy more than we can afford, right? I find sometimes, we overspend and buy big cars which we can't afford, and then the whole load of EMI creates so much more stress, and then the stress of running the nursing home, and the stress of having our children educated creates a lot of stress, right? But anyway, hoping that the body is probably comfortable. How does the mind experience? Let's go to the high level. Body is easy. Actually, for the body, there are three things which we don't do. I'm sure. For the body's happiness require three things. First is good sleep. How many of you sleep at 9 p.m.? Raise your hand. Oh, he's raising his hand. You're a doctor, beta. Oh, lovely. He's going to become a doctor. He said, I'm sleeping at 9. The melatonin levels from the pineal gland start getting released at 9 p.m. As the sun sets, as you know, as the sun, it is a light sensitive hormone from the pineal gland, and it starts peaking at midnight. And as the sun rises in the eastern horizon by about 5, there graphically, if you plot on the x and y axis, the melatonin levels start dropping down. When it is sunlight, the melatonin stops. This is called as the biological rhythm or the circadian rhythm, the biological clock which Krishna has made in the body, right? That means he designed that for good health, we need to sleep at 9. Okay, sir, doctor, are you kidding? 9 o'clock? My business starts at 9. Some of our family physicians will probably have practices going on till 10, 11, 12, right? Huh? Huh? In your night duty, what to do? Yeah, good question. We'll try to address that. But anyway, so for us, we talk about health. We're supposed to be guardians of health, right? But are we ourselves leading a healthy lifestyle? If you're sleeping anything beyond 10 and getting up before 5, that means we're not getting up 7 hours of good sleep, we are probably already unhealthy. I have a DNB student, since I did the Department of Medicine, so I have to train DNB students. And I gave this topic to this is my third year student now. His name is Krishna. So I said, you analyze, this is will be one of the first papers in India published on a large scale. Sleep patterns in acute coronary syndrome. When a patient comes to the EMR with the acute coronary syndrome, right, with drop T positive, EC changes of ST elevation, etc., right, and then he's admitted, obviously, either a PAMI is down or a plasty is down or admitted in the ICU for conservative management, whatever may be the thing. You go back and interview this person. And then there's a Philadelphia scale, which we're going to use, which is validated scale, and to see what actually is the incidence of sleep disorders in ACS, right? Because Harvard Medical School tells us that even late sleep is a primary cause of young people developing myocardial infarction. Very, very important. So, my dear friends, if you are sleeping late, your first suggestion for happiness would be start sleeping little early. Second is exercise. How many of you perform exercise? 10%, 20%, right? So how much have you to walk every day? 10,000 steps per day, right? Maybe 7,000 I have completed today, 3,000 more, right? But we need to walk because our profession is completely sedentary. A surgeon just stands hours in the OT and gets varicose veins, poor fellow, right? And All our busy practitioners, they have to sit in their OPDs, right, and keep examining patients, right? We hardly walk, right? So no wonder most of us have metabolic syndromes, right? So second thing is, I would suggest for happiness on the physical level, exercise, very, very important. And third thing is timely, nutritious food. What is that? This doctor is giving a questioning. I said, "वो क्या होता है?" Right? My friends who are in the OT, like I have oncosurgeons, my friends who are in the OT, they have surgery sometimes. You know, our anesthetic is here, right? Sometimes the surgery is so long. Commando surgery is done, HFN, like big, some tumor mandible to be removed, and then take a graft from somewhere and plaster, take out something from the ribs and cut it and put it over here. All this stuff takes 8 hours, 10 hours. What are surgeons supposed to do? He washes out for a few minutes, eats whatever, vada pav or whatever will be there, some sandwich, some chips, some glass of tea, again washes in, go into surgery and this is a surgeon's life. Is it not true? Have we all seen this in our life? Right. Where is nutrition? What is functional food? Functional food kya hota hai? These are all foreign words to us, right? Therefore, even at the physical level, our health is demanding. So we may not experience really even physical happiness. Let's go a little bit higher on the level of the mind. What makes the mind happy? Three C's, three don'ts, three things we should not do. Because they steal away, they are like stealers of happiness, right? First C for complaining. Second C for criticism. And third C for comparison. These three are such bad infections of the mind, right? A mind which is by nature tuned to be critical. Can it be happy? No. And oftentimes we are very critical, maybe to our colleagues, to our nurses, to whomsoever. We're just being very critical, right? If we are comparing, can we be happy? You agree that comparison makes us unhappy? Comparison makes you happy or unhappy? Hey, Baba, just go and see how many how many patients this doctor has got. So you are here, your clinic is here, you are a surgeon, or not you. You are a surgeon or a gyno, right? And the next door there was another gyno also. And you're sitting here and your clinic is empty. Nobody is there. You send your sister, hey, जरा देख के आओ कितने लोग उधर बाजू में बैठा है, right? He said, sir, उधर तो 25 लोग बैठा है. 25 लोग बैठा है. What happens to your acid levels? You get acid reflux, right? You get GRD, your heart rate increases, and jealousy comes over. So the worst formula for happiness is allowing the mind to compare. Don't compare, right? You will get your share as per the divine intervention of God and the power of your own destiny, right? So no comparison, no criticism, and don't complain. We often complaining, complaining like cribbing, always complaining. So these three have been studied. Now, whatever I'm speaking today, my dear friends, is not just hocus pocus, but this is our biologically studied things in Harvard. They have studied the negative effects of comparison criticism in a very medically double controlled trials. They've done trials on this, right? There's a paper I read because I do research. A lot of my time is spent in research. So because I do research, I read a paper in Circulation. As you know, Circulation is a very popular cardiac journal, printed by the AHA, American Heart Association, about 2 years back. It talked about heart health of the heart. And they mentioned that good, and this is a beautiful paper. I mean, I really recommend if you can read this paper, right? This paper talked about, I didn't expect this at all from a medical paper. It said, the paper said about good health means practicing love, practicing gratitude, practicing kindness, practicing philanthropy. I couldn't believe that American Heart Association can giving out such a paper on heart health, right? And I shared with all my colleagues, and I began my own research to study the effect of the mind on heart health. It's called a psychoma study. So this is what I'm driving at, my dear friends, is that we are coming to a point in history which is very important on the global level. That there is a point where the spiritual knowledge and medical science are both confirming the same thing. What our sages and rishis and our ancient spiritual texts have been teaching for millennium upon millennium is now being testified even by modern methodology of what you call as empiric science, right? And therefore, it's very beautiful for all of us to see that things which are thought as like spiritual, I'm not spiritual, this spiritual. No, it is science. Spirituality is also perfect. It's a perfect science. It is probably being kept into in the text and not presented in a scientific manner with scientific terminology, with scientific jargon, right? Because we are tuned to always think of adrenaline and cortisol and only if something like that is spoken, then we understand. If it is only some slokas, there's some sloka, right? I don't understand slokas, right? But they have proved that when you have a negative energy in your mind, that affects powerfully the amount of stress hormones created in the adrenaline gland. This has been studied. And when any eat a sattvic diet, I had gone to Mandi, they had called me for a G20 Mandi IIT in the Himalayas, where I was presenting a paper on holistic health. So I met some people from NIMHANS, and they proved scientifically, through a lot of studies they have done, some friends I met there, how the best way to live a good life is to live a sattvic life. How many of you have heard the word sattvic? Sattvic. Suna hai? Sattvic. Sattvic words, sattvic thoughts, sattvic food, and sattvic behavior. So they have proved scientifically that sattvic lifestyle is healthier and longer life. So longevity and health are both completely corroborated by modern science. So when Krishna says in the Gita, for example, Yukta ahara viharasya, Yukta chestasya karmashu, Yukna swapnava bodhasya, Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. When Krishna says this, we say this is a sloka. No, but this sloka is completely scientific because it's coming from Krishna, who's God himself, who made the world. Right? So when he speaks something, it is gospel truth. It can never be challenged, it cannot be erased, it cannot be disproved in any scientific understanding. It is absolute knowledge. And modern science is saying the same thing. So these three things, comparison, criticism, and third kya hai? Complaining, you have to keep aside. How does the mind, what are the positive things we need to do to keep the mind more happy? Hmm? Yes. Thank you for saying that, Devavati Mataji. I was thinking of God, God. G for gratitude, right? One of the most beautiful qualities for happiness which you can cultivate is the art of being grateful. The art of being truly at heart, genuinely grateful. Have you all not been blessed? You and I are doctors. Is it not a great thing? How many people in India are looking for a seat to become a doctor? Right? Ask any undergrad person who's going through the exams, entrance exams, how many people appearing for getting into MBBS and then after MBBS into in post graduation and then into super specialty. How many people are liking? Lakhs. But you and I were blessed to become a doctor. And not just that, there is so much in our life which we have in our life, right? But primarily, to have a human birth is a great thing, right? Of the 84 laksha yoni, to get a human birth is rare, and it is also an act of gratitude. Because only in this species of life, the Homo sapiens, can we ask this question: what is the goal of my life? Atato Brahma Jigyasa. That Jigyasa cannot be in a dog or a cat or a kangaroo or earthworm or a bacteria. Can only be there in a human being, the goal of life. So practice gratitude. We have so much. They say in the Christian tradition, they say, count your blessings. Count your blessings. Kitna diya hai, whatever you received in our life. Oh, we have received so much. If you're getting food to eat every day, you're getting a sleep every day, you have a nice house to stay. People don't have that. Not everybody in the world has good sleep and food and a nice house to stay. So much to be grateful for. This makes the heart soft. This makes the heart soft, right? Otherwise, without these great, beautiful traits of the mind, heart can become hard. And goodness cannot stay in a hard-hearted environment. Goodness can only stay in a heart which is replete with these human sensitivities of gratitude. Oh, for open your heart to charity. Charity, right? How wonderful is this thing, charity, right? In in our life, in my life, I was very fortunate. At the age of 18 years, I began my spiritual quest, and I was fortunate to meet my mentor. His name is Sri Radhanath Swami, right? And we had just passed our MBBS, and we had sort of taken shelter on guidance, inspiration from him as our spiritual guide in life. So we went up to him and said, please guide us what is to be done in life. So he told us, he looked at all of us, we were six doctors, six young budding doctors in their early 20s. He said, he looked at all of us and said, all of you individually will do great things for yourself. But if you remain together, you'll do great things not for yourself, but for the whole world. And those words, at that time, we did not, honestly, I'll tell you, I didn't really feel they were going to be prophetic. I said, these are good words, which I should appreciate. But I didn't know what was in for these words, what was in store for me for this. And therefore, we doctors, rather than starting our own nursing homes, which our parents wanted to very badly, hey, my name is Dhaval. My legal name is Dhaval. Dhaval, you are now MD doctor. You should start a nursing home. My friend Girish, we are from the same college, Nair Hospital in Mumbai. He said his father already spent at that time 20 lakhs for a nursing home. Ready. He said, just as soon as my son is out, he will sit into a nursing home and start 20-bedded nursing home. He already made. And here is our mentor saying, if you stay together and practice together, you can do great things from the world. And what did we do? We followed that. We stayed together. And the success story which we have is in front of all of you. From a small, well, there's a little more. So what we did, we started doing some philanthropic work. I'm talking about charity, right? Or for opening heart charity. So I would finish my night duty as a houseband during my PG days on Saturday, and Sunday we would run to the villages by taking a train. There is a train, I still remember. My mind is becoming nostalgic now. There is something called as Firozpur Janta Express. There's one train like that among the hundreds of trains in India, right? So I would run from Bombay Central from my hospital, and because train was at 7:25, right? And I had to finish my ward work in the morning before I leave. I tell my registrar, I'm going. This is this patient, nurse, usko blood collect karo, CBC, ear, X-ray chest, sonography, blah, 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 and you run and I have not even brushed my teeth still sometimes. But I'm running to catch the train at 7:25. So I'm running with the train, right, to catch it, because I need to go to a village where people are waiting for us. So there was a time when we sick doctors would go there and we would reach the station, and I would you know how much money we were getting that time? You'll be surprised. We had a stipend, right? We all got stipend. Our stipend was 400 rupees. And that was our money to spend for what? To buy medicines from Dawa Bazaar, cheap ones, buy potatoes and sabji from Palghar market, and then get into a ST with all that luggage, and then go into the village and have a medical camp for them. Sit down there as a doctor with apron and stethoscope, 3 hours of medical practice, giving away paracetamols and B complexes and diclofenac sodiums and cyclopams and whatever else what was necessary. And then the evening cook food for them together and then invite them for a pravachan and then give them a pravachan on good living, good habits like that. That was my life. That is how we began our life, and we stayed together. And for the last 40 years of my life, we all are still together. Of course, we are not single anymore. We are doubled in size also. But so the next thing which happened, you see, I'm trying to drive a point, my dear friends. When a head is high in pride, you don't get anything. Pride was before the fall. Christianity says that. So let's not be proud that we are doctors, right? Let's be humble. Let's be grateful. So we decided to not raise our head high in pride, but bow down to the representative of God, our mentor. And then he said the next thing to us. So all of you take different branches of post-graduation, so you can do something good for the world. Is it possible to get the field of your choice? Anybody knows that, right? You know what it is. It's such a stiff competition. If you want pediatrics, you don't get pediatrics. Nobody's waiting for pediatrics. Nobody's waiting to give you gyno. Nobody's going to give you general surgery. But the miracle of God was working. I was always interested, looking at my uncle in my hometown, to become a GMed. That was always my desire. I never liked scalpels. Sorry. I never liked scissors and cautery machines. I always believed in the power of medicines, the power of herbs, the powers of nature, power of the sun, power of Ayurveda, the power of good living habits, the power of Omkara. I always believed in all those things. I said, I want to become a physician. And I got into physician. I got GMed. My friend, so one of my friends, his father said, you become an ortho, okay? You take MS ortho. But other friend is saying, I'm already taking MS ortho. मेरे को मिल रहा है, I'm getting it. So it's okay. Then what will you do then? I'll take MS general surgery. He got it. Right. So one of our pediatric friends is there. You're getting married, right? You're just married. So what will your wife do? I said, we need a gyno also, right? People will come to us, gyne तो चाहिए ना अपने को एक, right? MT पे नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन gyne तो चाहिए. So she applied for gyne and she got gyne. So now our team became a little bigger. Everyone, you won't believe it, got the field which we desired. Right? So now we are all postgraduates together. Right? So we began our journey with a small little polyclinic in Mira Road, Mumbai. Just 6-7 of us sitting together. Chotta polyclinic. We rented one small flat of 640 square feet. Put some tables and chairs here and there. Little waiting area outside in the porch, and began. 30 rupees consultation fees. And that broke the entire market. Sorry, these are commercial terms, but you understand what I'm saying. Right? Because we were not going to give CUT. We didn't believe in that because we wanted to be ethical. We didn't want to give a kickback to anybody. We didn't want to go to a GP and say, can you send some patients to me? I'm sitting in the neighboring, clinic next door only. If you have any difficult patients, don't worry, I'll take care of them. We didn't want to do that. We will stand on our own merit. Patients should come on our merit, not on basis of somebody's references. So everyone was charging 100 rupees, we charged 30 rupees. And in 3 months, there's a huge amount of, and people are wondering, hey, these guys that come from where, Follow-up charge 20 rupees. And first consultation, MD, MS, GMed, MS Gynec, you know, 30 rupees. We broke the market completely, right? So we had got some money. We bought the next flat. Another 640 feet added to the next flat. 4 beds were added. Chota sa. Small X-ray machine, little pathology for basic biochemical work. So we don't have to send lab work outside. That went on well. Another flat was taken. 12-bed nursing home. And just see how things grow. You heard the story of, you heard of Vamandev? How many heard of Vamandev? Vamandev. Suna hai? Vaman avatar. Suna hai? Right? Vaman avatar. One avatar is one of Vishnu's avatar, one of the Dasha avatar. He is a avatar who is a dwarf avatar. Bone hai, chote hai bahut. Right? He's a dwarf avatar. And then when Bali Maharaj came to his sacrificial arena, and then you know the whole story, you must have heard it from your parents or from the holy books, right? And then Vaman Dev became huge, and he's called now as Trivikram, and covered the entire universe with this gigantic, colossal form. So something like that really started happening. We were just thinking that this is enough. Chota nursing home is there. We are doing some charity work, doing some free services, and going to temples, chanting Hare Krishna, and this is enough. But destiny had something more in store for us. Why? Because there was a mentor who was guiding us. So somebody came and said, oh, this whole plot of land is there in this housing complex. The housing complex is ready, but this plot of land is earmarked for a hospital. But the builder does not want to build any hospital here because he says, I don't know how to make a hospital. I do not know how to run a hospital. I'm a builder. I can make nice 3-star, 5-star housing complex, but I don't know how to run it. This is there. What would you like to do with it? So our devotee was working in his construction firm. He said, I have a group of doctors. Would you like to give it to them? I said, take it. So we got 1 acre of land free. 1 acre of land totally free. Can you believe? These looks like all mythology, no? ऐसा होता है कभी? होता है? ऐसा नहीं होता है. In Mumbai, 1 acre of land, you take it, right? There are many things to say, share like that. So in this way, our journey has begun, right? So G for gratitude, O for opening heart to charity, and D for do unto others what you would have done unto them. This is called as a golden rule. Talk with people, behave with people, deal with people, whether big or small, the way you would expect them to deal with you. Right? And these 3 qualities of gratitude, opening our hearts to charity, and doing these things, as I said, the golden rule, makes our mind happy and peaceful. Let's culminate a discussion with body, mind, and spirit. How do we really activate our soul? The soul is a living force. You and I all have cut dead bodies in our anatomy hall in first year, right? Why did it not react when our scalpel was cutting their saphenous vein or their sartorius muscle? Why were they not jumping in pain when we are cutting the rectus open and opening it out with? We were cutting the rectus, nothing was happening. Sometimes there was no even bleeding also. Dead body in formalin for so many weeks sometimes, right? Because the living force had left the body, right? So what animates the body is a living force. But the living force is not a part of matter. It is a non-material substance. It is a spiritual substance, right? And it can only gain true happiness when we address the needs of the soul. So let's talk about needs, not wants. Wants are usually unlimited wants, desires. उसका कोई अंत नहीं है. But needs, sleep is a need, food is a need, shelter is a need, clothing is a need. What is the need of the soul? The need of the soul is ashray. What is it? Ashray. Taking shelter of the Supreme Soul. We call it God. But more specifically, call it Krishna. Why do we say Krishna? Because Krishna is the Supreme God. Because I am saying it? No. Aham sarvasva prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam budhabhava samanvitaha. Right? Krishna is saying, Sarva sachaham riti sanivishto matasmriti jnanam aponham cha Vedi sarver ahama vedyo vedantakri vedavita chaham. Right? Krishna in so many shlokas, beautiful shlokas, has established his supremacy as the supreme personality of Godhead. In one line he says, Mataha parataram na anyat. Now you don't know Sanskrit, I don't know Sanskrit. Right? But it's very easy to understand. Mataha means me. Parataram, para means superior. Paratara means beyond. Na anyat. Krishna is saying there is nothing and no one who is beyond me or superior to me. Mataha parataram na anyat. Very easy to understand. All of us are doctors and intelligent people, we can understand. So Krishna is the supreme personality of God. Right? And therefore, when we connect our soul with our very source, the Supreme Soul, then you start drawing grace. You start drawing kripa. You start gaining His love and compassion. And that activates our sleeping soul. Right? And how do we really do that? The Lord says, you can find me. Well, the Lord is present in the heart of all living beings. But He says, specifically, you will find me in a very tangible, accessible manner when you recite my names. Right? Therefore, we say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Right? So there are so many studies on this. I'll give you a quotation of in our hospital, because we are a research center. We have conducted almost 15 studies of the effect of the Mahamantra, this is the Mahamantra, on hospital stay, reduces, on post-op recovery, improves, on wound healing, improves. We have done all these studies. You can go to the Bhaktivedanta website and see these studies. Right? We have proved how the Mahamantra acts not only on the spirit soul, but also acts for the well-being of the entire body. Now there is another study going on where we are using the Narsinga Kavach mantra and the Mahamantra for seeing the recovery of patients from the ICU. So we believe in a rigorous, evidence-based Krishna conscious process. We are doctors. We believe in evidence-based medical practice. We also live a life where we have evidence-based spirituality. Right? That is the strength of Bhaktivedanta Hospital, where everything is evidence-based. Right? And there are papers which we publish to make the whole world understand that Krishna consciousness is the absolute and the highest science in the world. Right? So I urge all of you, my dear friends, dear doctors, right, to open your hearts to this great, great treasure which we all have. And I actually honestly invite all of you today to come to Mira Road. If you ever happen to be in Mumbai, please pay a visit to us and you will be amazed to see a combination of two powerful forces at the hospital. The power of dharma, the power of professional health care, both brought together in one single model, the only model in the whole world, where you can see the highest principles of bhakti being practiced, right? And you also see the highest professionalism of modern medicine. We perform brain surgeries, we perform bypass surgeries, we perform kidney transplant surgeries, we perform all sorts of surgeries, spinal surgeries, microsurgeries, uh, microinvasive surgeries, arthroscopic surgeries. We have 150 doctors in our hospital. We have 300 beds, a postgraduate teaching institute. Very soon we'll have a medical college also in a few years, right? So, Krishna consciousness is real, is very, 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 very real. And I urge all of you to ponder upon what we discussed today, uh, just to recapitulate on the body platform: sleep better, eat better, and have more exercise. On the mind platform, don't complain, don't be critical, and don't compare. And God means G for O for D for your dealings with others. Deal with others in a very respectful manner, right? And then how do you open your soul to? By chanting the Mahamantra, right? The name of God, right? The holy name of God. So this is a sum and substance, and I'm very, very grateful to all of you for coming today and spending valuable time. And I thank you very much and say to you, Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or yes, doctor.
What is the role of buddhi or intellect?
Buddhi.
What is the role of intellect?
So we have got a gross body, which is called as Pancha Mahabhuta body, which is Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, and Tham. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Right? This is called as Stula Deha. And this is also called as Sukshma Deha. Some people call it the astral body, some people call it the Sukshma Deha. Different names are given. This is Mana, Buddhi, and Ahankar. Right? This is Palsiko. These are the subtle body, this subtle mind, subtle existence. So the function of the mind is two: sankalp, vikalp. To accept, to reject, to accept, to reject. I want to go for the lecture, I don't want to go for the lecture. I want to eat khichdi, I don't want to eat khichdi. I want to wear kurta, I don't want to wear kurta. Right? I want to sleep, I don't want to sleep. I want to chant, I don't want to chant. Right? So it keeps on doing sankalp, vikalp, sankalp, vikalp. So we keep on making choices through our mind. Who helps you whether to make the right choice or not? That is intelligence. So intelligence has got two functions. One is called as discrimination, other is called as determination. So a person who is very intelligent is not necessarily somebody who has passed from IIT or MIT, Boston, right? That are intelligent in a particular way. But true intelligence, from this perspective of discussion, means somebody has a power of determination and has a power of great discriminatory power. Discrimination means it's called Vivek Buddhi. Vivek Buddhi means good, bad, right, wrong, now, not now. So he knows exactly what to do, when to do, how to do, how not to do, what to say, what not to say, how to deal, how not to deal. So his Buddhi is giving him the right signals, how the mind should function. In a general, in this world as we're living, the mind usually overpowers the intelligence. In normal parlance, in normal day-to-day, uncontrolled type of living habits which we have, the mind dictates. Buddhi says, okay, ठीक है, ऐसा ही करेंगे, right? But when you activate your spiritual side and you actually start gaining knowledge, jnana, where does the jnana go? Jnana goes towards the intelligence. Manmana bhavo, another sloka of the Gita is Manmana bhavo madbhakto madhyaji mam. The word ijya in Sanskrit means to worship. Ijya means to worship. So when we read the Gita, it is worshipping Krishna. When you say Krishna means you have to sing, oh, I have some agarbatti, some candle, some like ghee lamp, some flowers. Yes, that is one type of worship. But reading Gita is worshipping Krishna with your intelligence. Right? So when you worship Krishna with intelligence, when you read the Gita, that knowledge goes into intelligence and then you develop power of discrimination. right? This is not good. I should not do this. And then you may decide not to do this, but then to persist on not doing that, that power will come from where? From the buddhi only. So that is the power which gives us the ability to resist temptations. Now all of us have a struggle with temptations, right? We all get tempted with various things. Do we fall victim to temptations? Right? In one sense, we often know the right thing and the wrong thing. Hai na? Hai ki nahi? We are not buddhu. That's sorry, not buddhu means we are not so much in ignorance, right? In general, living in this world, keep our eyes and ears open. We know what is right, wrong, good, bad, sahi, galat, pata hai, right? But don't you also know that we often still do the wrong thing while knowing we should not do it? Is it not true? Why is that? As doctor is saying, because our intelligence is weak and our mind is very powerful. So jante hue bhi, this is Arjuna's question to Krishna. Hey, my dear Lord, you're telling me, this is Sankhya Yoga 6th chapter, right? You're telling me to control your mind, but mind kaise control karu main? How can I do it? Hmm? Arjuna, who can shoot his arrow with such precision and at such amount of rigorous practice, he could even do practice in the night, archery practice in the night. You are so rigorous in discipline. He's asking Krishna how to control the mind. He's telling Arjuna, Krishna is telling Krishna, Chanchala hi manah Krishna pramati balavar dridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayurveda suduskaram. That this mind is chanchala, it is stubborn, it is very difficult to control. Pramati, balava, dridam, very stubborn. I cannot do this. Then Krishna says, for this you have to develop your intelligence. Right? And how to do that? By abhyasana konteya. By abhyas. We do abhyas, the intelligence becomes stronger, right? So all of us were having some bad habits before. You may be having some bad habits, I have some bad habits. But how do we give it up? Because we our intelligence become more purified now by the chanting process and leading a sattvic lifestyle. When you lead a sattvic lifestyle, automatically all the power will come into you. Is it all right? Thank you. Yes, doctor. Hare Krishna. Yes. See, here what is happening is sometimes he is not even chanting. Here in this experiment, what we have done, he is not chanting. We are putting Prabhupada's tape. Prabhupada is chanting for him. Patient is on a poor fellow is post-operative pain, may tell him chant Hare Krishna karo. Sir, मेरा wound का pain तो कम करो पहले. So the guy is coming, he needs tramadol at that time, he doesn't need, he needs Japmala. So he's going through post-operative pain, his appendicitis is hurting him and whatever, something is happening to him. So the chanting is done by Srila Prabhupada. See, in our hospital, what is the beauty of our hospital is that all over the entire hospital, the mantra is going on. Our hospital is bathed, snan, abhishek, right? Our entire hospital is abhishek with the Mahamantra from somebody as pure as Prabhupada. His prayers, his hymns, and his slokas, his recitations are there everywhere, including the mortuary. समझ गए? Right? Why mortuary? We were taking a round with our mentor, right? The hospital was almost ready, and we had put a music pipeline of Mahamantra in the entire hospital. So we were walking with our mentor, Radhanath Swami, and we were going around and said, Swamiji, this is our mortuary. So he stood there for 2 seconds and said, I don't hear a Mahamantra here. I said, Maharaj, this is for keeping dead bodies. I said, yeah, we should keep Mahamantra here also because the soul is so attached to the body and is forcibly thrown out of the body suddenly by some accident or some disease. And soul is saying, I want to go back to this body. Right? So the soul is oftentimes hovering around the body. So in that unliberated state or in contaminated state, he is still asakta. But of course, the body is not inhabitable anymore because something has happened to the body, and bones are broken, and maybe heart attack आ गया क्या है तो body में जा नहीं सकता है लेकिन फिर सोच जाऊँ क्या जाऊँ क्या मैं should I go so he should also get purified. So keep a Mahamantra ka tape also in the mortuary area. So you come to the hospital, you will enter the hospital, you will see a beautiful figure of Srila Prabhupada. And you go to the hallways, go to the labor room. Imagine the child who is born, how fortunate, na? The child is born, either it is LSCS or it is FTND, normal labor, right? The child is born, the person who's receiving him first in the hand is a Vaishnavi gynecologist. Dr. Saab, sochiye aap, hai na? The first touch, of course, the first touch is mother's touch because mother has always kept the child in the womb for 9 months. So to hai hai, that is there. But the first person touching is a non-sinner, is a person who has practiced bhakti in his life for years. That gynecologist welcomes this child into the world. Please come. We want to serve you, we want to help you. And the first thing the child hears is in the labor room, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. How auspicious. So we have decided, all of us doctors, अगर मरना है तो कहाँ मरना है? इधर ही मरना है. Before अंतकाले चमामेवा स्मरण मुत्वा कलेवरम. अंत्य नारायण स्मृति होना चाहिए. We are living our life. The exam, when is our exam? You will have an exam, I will have an exam. When is exam? अंतकाले. अंतकाले तो होगा, सबका अंतकाले होने वाला है. Sooner or later, maybe sooner than later, who knows, right? अंतकाले होगा, right? तभी लाइफ में अगेन सक्सेसफुल हुआ कि नहीं हुआ, तभी जाके उसकी परिभाषा पता चलेगा. Whether you were a big doctor, famous doctor, you earned crores of rupees, had 4 BMWs, उसकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं रहेगी. But from Krishna's perspective, from the spiritual perspective, true success of life would mean that we have lived a life in such a way that अंतकाले च मामेवा स्मरण मुक्त्वा. स्मरण के साथ क्या होगा? मुक्त्वा. स्मरण हो गया तो क्या हो जाएगी? मुक्त्वा मतलब क्या? मुक्ति, liberation. The moment you remember the Lord at the time of death, you don't come back to the world. Mameti su Arjun, Krishna is saying. Mama iti. Mama iti means you come to me. Right? So our hospital is so special. I'm doing some advertisement so to allure you to bring you to the hospital. इतना बोल रहा है तो जाके देख के आते हैं. इतना बोल रहा है तो देखना पड़ेगा. What is all this stuff? Is it really true or is it just bragging? Or is it just making up stories? I invite you to see evidence-based. Seeing is believing, right? So you come and see for yourself. The child is born, here's Mahamantra, and every person born, of course, we don't want anybody to die in the hospital, but hospital is hospital, as you know, death will be there. Even though we have the best intensivists and whole team of expert doctors, but multi-organ failures, septicemias, etc. In a tertiary care hospital, we get so many references from surrounding places where bad cases come to us, right? With sepsis and encephalopathies and all that stuff, right? So people are going to die. But at the time of death, what do we do with our patients? We continue the CPR, we continue the adrenaline, we continue the dopamine, continue the IV fluids, we continue the DC shocks, but we also take Ganga Jal and put it in the mouth of the dying person. Right? So yes, we don't stop. We don't want anybody to die in our hospital. So the CPR given for 45 minutes, sometimes you give 45 minutes. We just recently had a patient of mine who gave CPR for 45 minutes. You can imagine CPR is, आपने सबने CPR दिया होगा, you know how tough it is. Dr. Saab, CPR is very exhausting. You give 5 minutes CPR, and you know your heart rate goes up and you get tired. So the ward boy was giving, the maushi was giving, the doctor was giving, the anesthetist was giving, the intestine was giving, everyone was giving. The 45 minutes patient, boom, he was back to normal. He was alive again, right? So we continue our CPR, we do all the resuscitation measures, but we also keep the Mahamantra on, the Ganga Jal, and then we have a department called the Spiritual Care Department, where somebody will come for a dying patient and read the second adhyaya of the Bhagavad Gita. So as the soul is leaving the body, like you leave, like in 5 minutes, in few minutes you're going to leave this room, right? Or like you leave your car and go to your clinic, and come from your clinic and enter into your house. So that body in which the soul is living is going to now is leaving. So as the soul is leaving, taking its journey outside the body, it should hear the Mahamantra as it goes to its destination, right? So the last thing it carries is the holy name. This is Srila Prabhupada's compassion. Where did all this come from? It is not, they may call me founder, doctor, all these things, all these nice words they may say. It's not my creation, right? I was in some small way instrumental to be, as they say, in the right place at the right time with the right people. And things just happened, right? But the ultimate glory goes to whom? Whatever I am saying, whatever you are feeling amazed about and happy about, is no glory to any of our 6 doctors. Yes, we are playing our role, whatever role we have, but the glory goes to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Hospital called as Bhakti Vedanta Hospital and Research Institute. So this is a tribute, this is an honor which all of us are giving at the hospital to the greatest Acharya born who saved mankind and again created a new life in a misdirected civilization. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yeah, yeah. You will be surprised. My primary clientele is Muslims. My primary client is Muslims. I have all Burkhawalas coming to me, right? So you see, the hospital is so, non-intimidating atmosphere, right? So they know that there's no conversion. We are not telling them by the gunpoint, बोलना पड़ेगा, ट्रीटमेंट चाहिए क्या, बचाने का पेशेंट को पहले महामंत्र बोलो, right? So there is no intimidating thing here. It is very very open, right? So we say your patient is about to, we have to give communication, right? Patient is in last few breaths. The patient is gasping now. You want to call your mullah, somebody you can call the mullah and you can also chant Quran. So somebody, the people, they call the mullah sometimes. They said, नहीं 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 साहब, आप लोग कर रहे बराबर कर रहे, आप ही लोग ही करो. Most of the time they say they have developed so much faith in the doctors. They said, आप लोग इतना अच्छा कर रहे हैं, आप लोग जो कर रहे हैं वही अपने करो. वो अब डालते हैं ना आप लोग, वो डालो सब उसके अंदर. और झमझम है ना, झमझम वो डालो आप लोग. My patient, just recently, one patient of mine is 87-year-old. He sent me a list. What is his name? Forget his name. I'm bad at names sometimes. He sent me a list. He said, Dr. Dalal. He sent it with his son. All 3 generations come to me. This grandfather, the father, and his 3 generations are my patients because practicing for the last 35 years. So they said, Dr. Dalal, can you send me these books, please? Send me one Bhagavad Gita. Send me Science of Self-Realization, Elevation to Krishna Consciousness. ये किताब भर को आप भेज सकते हैं क्या उर्दू के अंदर, मैं पढ़ना चाहता हूँ. Right? So at Bhakti Hospital, we have become like their family. They come and open their hearts to us. डॉक्टर साहब देखिए ना, अभी अभी शादी किया है लड़की ने, लेकिन ना क्या कम नसीब हमारा है. That boy is such an idiot, ना, right? He's not taking care of her only. He's harassing her. ऐसा है वैसा है. They will open their hearts to us because the hospital is such an environment where they feel so comfortable, where they feel that ये सब जो लोग हैं ये हमारे क्या है, genuine well-wishers हैं, right? So that hospital environment is made in such a way The people feel so happy to ventilate their. So most of our doctors who are devotees, this doesn't happen with everybody, what I'm saying, right? I'm sharing my experience with you. But most of our doctors who are devotee doctors, because of their good behavior and their, well-meaning intentions, the patients can perceive that there will be no wrong surgeries done here. There will be no wrong investigations unnecessarily done here. They won't be putting me through some sort of a, you go to this doctor, that doctor, unnecessary reference will not be done. They're genuine people. So there is a Muslim hospital next to where most of the Muslims stay. In Mira Road, if you see the geography, half side is Muslims, completely Muslim area. Complete. It's like Pakistan. Everybody is Muslim there. There's no Hindu there. And one entire half is cosmopolitan where every other mix sab rehte hain idhar. So those people have in their area a Muslim builder who has built a Muslim hospital, right? But they will spend 60 rupees by rickshaw to come to our hospital because they find this is a better place for them to get treatment. So we have successfully broken this Hindu-Muslim barrier because we are doctors. What have we got to do with Muslim? What have we got to do with Hindu? What have we got to do with Sikhs and Christianity? We don't believe in. Apko kya karna hai? Patient is patient. Patient is patient, right? And these all these external sectarian boundaries which somehow have been created, they completely get dissolved when you come to Bhaktivinoda Hospital. And so every community, as you're saying rightly, every community will come. Everybody comes. Nobody feels, अरे जाऊंगा तो ये हरे कृष्ण का हॉस्पिटल है, भक्ति वेदांत. So our hospital is called as Bhakti Hospital. They don't say Bhakti Vedanta. वो भक्ति हॉस्पिटल है ना, भक्ति हॉस्पिटल उधर लेके चलो. रिक्शा वाले बोलते भक्ति हॉस्पिटल. So everything is भक्ति 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 करते रहते. And they'll say Bhakti Hospital, they say Hare Krishna Hospital. So after एक और मजेदार बात बताता हूँ. I will end with one more wonderful thing. After consultation is over, patients come to us, you take history, you examination, you counsel them, ये दवा ऐसा लेना है, वैसा लेना है, करना है, सब करना है, लाइफस्टाइल बता दिया, फूड बता दिया, डॉक्टर साहब क्या खाना चाहिए, ये खाना चाहिए. लास्ट में क्या करना है फिर? Before the patient leaves the cabin, you open a dabba. What is in the dabba? Prasad. ले लो. The last thing every patient does after going to consultation is to take Krishna Prasadam and then leave. Krishna Bhagavan ki. Right? Can you believe this? चमत्कार लग रहा है ना आपको? लेकिन we are doing it for the last 25 years. Our mentor told us that everybody comes to hospital must get spiritually uplifted in some way or the other. चाहे कोई भी religion का क्यों ना हो. अभी तो ऐसा हो गया है, you won't believe. तो प्रसाद देना भूल गए आज. Suppose I'm very busy, I've got one patient here, one patient sleeping there, one patient is the bell is ringing, somebody in the ICU is calling us, hey, usko aisa karo, dopamine chalu karo, usko ye karo, wo karo. I'm just going crazy, with all these patients, all these rings, and my students saying, sir, abhi kya karne ka hai? So somebody comes and he said, ho gaya aapka, ho gaya na, khatam ho gaya na. They press the bell, sister, next patient. Sir, prasad nahi diya aapne. Prasad nahi diya. Sorry, sister, prasad de do. This is what is happening. This is again miracle of who? Srila Prabhupada. Right? There are many more things I don't want to tell you now. Right? You have to come and see. Many more wonderful things are there. But thank you all very much. This time it is late evening now. Oh, one question. Huh?
How do you practice monolatheism? Monolatheism means among so many gods we have, we only talking about one God, that's Krishna. We have Shiva, we have Kali, we have Santosima, we have so many gods. But how do you consecrate yourself to one God?
So this is a non-medical question. This question is for this person. His name is Acharya Ratna Prabhu. So I would like you to meet him. हाँ ठीक है हम समझ गए हम जानी to be what you are saying, right? So after the class you can meet. He's the president of this temple, and it's a very wonderful question. So you can ask with him and he can discuss this with him. Right. You see, in the Ishopanishad, it is said, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevasishyate. Right? So when Krishna showed his Virat Swarupa, there's a chapter, a whole chapter on Virat Swarupa, when Krishna showed that everything, all the gods, all the demigods, all the Shaktis, and everything in creation is within his one body. So when we say Krishna, it is not singular Krishna. It is Krishna means the combination of all that is in creation is within Krishna. उदाहरण बताता हूँ. For example, when Krishna was a very small child, right, and he had some dirt, mitti khaya, right, and then Shoda Maya said, "Oh, Kana, you had some mitti. What is this?" Right? No, no, I didn't have mitti. Right? So open your mouth. Show it to me. So Krishna said, all the gods were there. Every god which you mentioned, Shiva, Brahma, Shakti, everybody was there in Krishna's mouth. So when you say Krishna means totality of all existence means Krishna. Combination of all gods. Thank you very much. बराबर बोला मैंने. Hare Krishna. It's getting late. Yes. Thank you. Anji. Thank you. Thank you.
We're very blessed that we are here with you. First time I joined ISKCON at such a nice meeting because earlier I didn't, not time, I will not say the wrong word time because of lack of consciousness or lack of understanding. I would say. So my question is, now I'm preparing for post graduation. Earlier I couldn't do it because of my some family issues. Okay. So last year also I did it, but I just didn't get the result branch. That's why I did it.
Correct.
So I'm very much eager to join my desired branch and very much determined also. So, but in my this preparation phase, I feel so much of negative thoughts and so much of struggle. How can I overcome this? I'm chanting Mahamantra almost every day. As Prabhu, last month, Prabhuji guided me to do this, to overcome my negativity. So how can I overcome? Because this 6 month phase is very much
Crucial,
important,
crucial.
and the planning for the exam. You know that it's the biggest
Tough.
exam, it's the toughest exam in this world.
Yeah.
So how can I?
Okay.
How can I get my desired branch? Blessings of.
I wish I had a magic wand.
No, I will do my proper
Kartavya.
karma.
Karma. Correct, correct.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But after, still now, in spite of that, so many negative thoughts and negative, that competition is very much high. Almost every year students are passing, every year lakhs and lakhs of students are joining, and then so many negative thoughts are vibrating in my mind.
Can we talk together? Is it all right? It's better, I think, because this question is only for you, right? So it is not for everybody else. So we can speak together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. Yes. Anybody has? Yes, Mataji, you are. Please ask. Please introduce yourself first, and then.
सर मैं डॉक्टर सुपर्णा हूँ रिसर्च ऑफिसर आयुर्वेदा मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष
Very
सर मैं
nice.
कोलकाता में पोस्टेड हूँ और
Okay.
सर मुझे मैं साइंटिस्ट भी हूँ मतलब रिसर्च ऑफिसर
Very
तो सर
nice.
मुझे सुबह ओपीडी करना होता है जिसमें 110 पेशेंट आते हैं लगभग सर और उसके बाद फिर रिसर्च का काम करना होता है ड्रग डेवलपमेंट मेरा एरिया है
But you look very fresh today. You don't look tired.
सर मैं सुबह से सात्विक भोजन का आज ट्राई किया खाना है तो नहीं खाना है आज ऑल और सर मैं आयुर्वेद में वो सब तरह से तमाम जितने भी आहार विहार है
Correct.
पेशेंट को तो समझाती हूँ उसमें फिर इतना अप्लाई होता है पता नहीं
Right.
तो सर जब पेशेंट आते हैं उनको देखती थी वो सर 15 मिनट्स मुझे मिलता है उसमें मैं उनको ये तो बोलती हूँ क्या खाना चाहिए क्या डिजीज स्पेसिफिक ऑब्वियसली सर पर सर और स्पिरिचुअल में क्या बोलती हूँ उपदेश दे सकती हूँ कि ये मानो, ऐसे में ना और मतलब पेशेंट हीलिंग अच्छा हो सकता है। एक तो बात है कि हम लोग मानते हैं कि ऊर्जा के साथ देखते हैं तो पेशेंट में वो चीज काम करता है, पर सर मैं खुद को भी टाइम नहीं दे पाती हूँ कि जैसे 9 बजे जल्दी जाना है, फिर आके बुक्स पढ़ लेती हूँ सर, बट मेरा पर्सनल लाइफ एज वेल सर, पेशेंट का भी कुछ अच्छा हो, क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं?
देखो ऐसा मेरा अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये है, आई हैव गॉट सम वेरी गुड आयुर्वेदिक फ्रेंड्स ऑल्सो, वो लोग मानते हैं कि इवन व्हेन यू टेक द मेडिसिन, है ना, जब भी आप कुछ खा रहे हैं, अश्वगंधा खा रहे हैं, जो भी कुछ खा रहे हैं आप, वॉट एवर मेडिसिन टेकिंग, राइट, उस समय अगर आप प्रभु का स्मरण करके अगर खाते हो तो उस दवाई का जो इफेक्ट जो है वो ज़्यादा होता है। ये बात सही है कि नहीं?
ड्रग कलेक्शन में भी
ड्रग कलेक्शन में जब भी आप तोड़ते हो, ब्राह्मी को तोड़ते हो, ब्राह्मी के प्लांट से, तभी मंत्रोच्चार करके जब भी क्या है,
में भी विष्णु सहस्त्र नाम जप
हाँ।
है।
सो एक्चुअली आपके पास तो पूरा अधिकार है, यू आर, यू नो, मॉडर्न मेडिसिन तो शायद इसको भी एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाती है, बिकॉज मॉडर्न मेडिसिन इज मॉडर्न मेडिसिन, बट यू आर इन अ पोजिशन वेयर आपका शास्त्र, आपका ज्ञान, आपका खुद का एक्सपीरियंस और नॉलेज इज देयर, सो आप लोग तो जरूर कह सकते हैं कि इसको खाने पहले प्रभु को स्मरण कर देना, राइट। अभी मुसलमान हो तो मुसलमान को वो जिसका जो प्रभु है उसको स्मरण करेगा, अपने को सबको लेना देना कुछ नहीं है, अपने को वी आर नॉट इनटू रिलीजन एंड यू नो ऑल दिस बाइफर्केशन एवरीथिंग एल्स। आप स्मरण करके ले लेना। मॉर्निंग को, प्रातः काल में, इट इज बिलीव्ड दैट सुबह को उठ के what energy you create in the mind in the morning is very important. अगर उठते ही फिर भागना है, ब्रश करना है, फिर भागना है कार लेके अपने को, तो दैट इज नो। सो आई सेड इन द बिगिनिंग, यू व्हेन यू गेट अप, पहले स्मरण करो प्रभु का, आई एम स्टिल अलाइव, आई हैव द होल डे विथ मी नाउ, right? And let me think of what I can do to my life today which is good for me and for others, right? तो पहले उठकर सुबह को प्रातः में भगवान का स्मरण करना, और फिर दवाई खाते समय जो है आप प्रभु को जरूर याद करना। तो यही दवाई है, लेकिन इसका असर जो है ना आपके मानसिक शक्ति से ज्यादा आपको उपयोग होगा, ऐसा आप जरूर बोल सकते हो। ठीक है? हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. So we are extremely grateful to His Grace Dwarkadhish Prabhu, Dr. Dalal Prabhu. So are you all happy to be here on today's evening? So let us express our gratitude by giving big loud applause. And we are also extremely grateful to each one of you who have spared your valuable time in spite of your busy, hectic schedule to come here to be part of this program. So we would also like to give one big loud applause to everyone. How many of you would like to attend such similar sessions in future? Oh, wonderful. So we are planning to have monthly satsang like this, monthly sang of doctors. So we'll keep you posted on the WhatsApp group. How many